So we are starting with Michelle, right? Am I all over the freaking place?
No, that's right.
You're first, right, Michelle?
Yep.
Okay. So, um, Michelle is someone that I've been getting to know a lot because we brought her on to my team a little while ago. And how long has it been now? It feels like I've known you forever. So now it's like
It was
I
in
can't even keep track.
October of last year.
Okay. So coming up on a year.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna pin you so people get to start, seeing you. Um, I'll pin you to for a second while we're both talking, but then I'll jump up here. So, yeah, so I've known Michelle for almost a year, and she showed up to help us to bring in new clients, reach out to new partnerships, and do that kind of thing for us. And she brings this amazing, level-headed, fearless, confident, um, just this beautiful energy to our group, to our team, to our clients. And she just helps everyone to feel at ease. She helps everyone to feel so confident. And she really inspires people into action and to move forward with things. And that is something amazing about her because she has been doing that for a lot of her life in other ways. And so she uh, years ago started the Buff Mother empire and built this beautiful, amazing content and was teaching people how to take amazing care of their bodies while they had kids and hormones and real life. And she got so passionate about that. And she's really amazing, like I said, at getting people to take action and to step into what she knows is possible for them. And that's what she does. And that's what she does with Buff Mother. That's what she does with Autumn Rose, with our design clients. And so I'm really excited to hear what she has to say because it is this kind of this combination and this tension we've been talking about all week between like being at, like finding that peace with where we are and going after what we also want that we don't have yet, and I think she's really amazing at that balance. She's got this peace and joy about what is now and this massive action about like what else she wants and what's possible. So all right, official bio time here. Hold on. Okay. I'm so silly. I have this pulled up. Okay. So Michelle Buff Mother Burger. Do I even say your I never say your last name. Yours is Michelle. Is it Berger?
Burger. Burger.
Okay. I had someone once tell me that they thought that I should be Sanchez, like my last name. Anyway, okay. She is the founder of buffmother.com and creator of Team Buff Mother online support group. Michelle's body had been ravaged, not anymore, had been ravaged by having 4 kids in just 4 years, including twins via C-section. Yet 1 year later, she was able to win 5 NPC figure titles. She wanted to scream from the rooftops that the forever doom of a mommy body was a lie. With her best body ever after having kids, Michelle wanted to help every woman in the world to know the joy of being fit, healthy, strong, and loved. Buff Mother Michelle Berger wants to help give women hope. In January of 2005, she started a website, buffmother.com, in order to reach the world. Michelle quickly became one of the world's top fitness gurus and a highly sought-after online trainer. The program she created, follows, and teaches is called Hormonal Timing. It specifically addresses the unique stumbling blocks women face in their fitness and diet quest. Michelle studied exercise science and nutrition in college and felt that there was a missing piece in traditional training protocols. Hormones were and are still vastly ignored by most personal trainers. Can confirm that that's true. Although I'm glad to be hearing more about it, like more people becoming aware. That is why Michelle created Hormonal Timing, a program that equips women to work with their natural hormone cycle to attain accelerated results in their diet and fitness program. Buff Mother's books, Hormonal Timing and After Baby Abs, quickly became bestsellers and led Michelle to become a star of her own infomercial about the unique training program. Besides fitness, she has also held positions in new home sales, the VP of sales for a builder, and now the VP of sales for Autumn Rose Interiors. Fastest, most effective workouts, simple diet that requires little prep or logging hormone balancing system, anti-aging lifestyle that emphasizes joint and system longevity, A strong, sexy body full of strength and energy. Heck yeah. Love it. All right, let's hear what you have to share with us today. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the great intro, Aubrey. It's just humbling to hear, what you think about me, which which I don't get to hear very often, but that's awesome. I'm glad that I exude what I try to exude, confidence and peace. And so I've been in the fitness industry like way long. I was an influencer before even people knew what that was. Really, I built my business on social media and helped a lot of other companies besides my own with their branding, and so it was one of those things people didn't even know what to call you back then, and then here 10 years later people have that as a profession, I guess, so it's amazing. But it's been quite a journey for me. As Aubrey mentioned, that I have written books, and so to hear so many of you that are in that journey of writing your books and trying to build your tribe, it's very rewarding. I mean, I said that writing a book was like being pregnant. It was like, you're struggling, you're going through it and all that stuff, and then once you have that baby, man, it's awesome, right? So if you're in that mode right now, just have faith that it's worth it, because having a solid piece of information that you can give to people and really share your whole vision. Right now we have a half an hour to talk, right? But my book has all kinds of wealth of knowledge in it, and in it there's 10 success tools in there, and I'm going to give everyone here it for free. That's my giveaway, is both of my books and a success journal tool. So if you want to utilize the program, we've had literally thousands of women had followed the program and been very happy. So as Aubrey mentioned, my secret sauce is always talking about hormones. Now, 15 years ago, that was not talked about at all. I mean, women didn't even know how to count their cycle days. I was like, well, what day is cycle day 1? Is it, and then how long does it last? And it was just an education piece altogether. And my big thing is that you have to be aware of what's going on in your body in order to confidently overcome the obstacles that you're challenging. So as we all know, like most of us here have gone through hormonal ups and downs in our life, and every single month we have that. And whether you're menopausal or had a hysterectomy or whatever, you still follow those cycles. And so there is no getting away from the fact that us as women are different people on different days of the month. And so if we can identify those things and understand that, some days of the month I want to be a total hermit. I don't want to talk to anybody. I know that it's not a good time to make decisions. I might feel a little depressed, but if I know that every day of the month that's cycle day 25 for me, then on cycle day 28, I'm a totally, different person, right? Or on cycle day 1, I feel like that relief. And so that's part of, what I teach women, is just really identifying, their feelings, their, things that happen in their body. Your strength is different at different times of the month. So say you go to the gym and you're like, man, I'm so strong today, I feel great. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, oh my goodness, I was lifting way heavier, 2 weeks ago. What's happening to me? Am I failing? Am I not eating right? No, it's just your hormones. Your body is different. So if you realize that, and then you tailor your fitness program to that, and your diet program, and your mental program, and your life to it, you realize that, things are not as catastrophic as they may seem at certain times. Or, like if you are, weighing yourself daily and you notice that, oh my goodness, I've been working out so hard and now I weigh 4 pounds more today than I did yesterday. What's going on? Well, there's all kinds of reasons why it might be. It might be a food intolerance. It may be your hormones amping up. It may be the fact that you did work out really hard yesterday and you're retaining water so that your body can heal and become a better version of yourself. So as you go through it, you got to realize that, there's certain things that once you understand and once you know how your particular body reacts and how your mental side reacts every month on up and down scale, you can kind of tailor your life and tailor your expectations for the days to that, right? And your fitness. And then that all allows your fitness to be more efficient and effective and consistent. We all know that anything in our lives that we're trying to do, we gotta be consistent at it for us to be successful, right? You can't work out 2 days a month and then expect to see results, right? You gotta be consistently doing it, and it's not like every single day. I don't tell people they have to work out every day. You just work out more than you're not working out, right? So, and have that fitness component in your life more days than you're not. So I'd say 4 days a week. That's kind of the holy grail to getting progress in what you're doing in your health quest, right? If you're doing less than that, 3 days a week, you might just be able to maintain where you're at. But if you do 4, that's more than not, right? So don't feel like it's an all or nothing battle. And that's one of the biggest things that I tell people is it's not all or nothing. A little bit, every little tiny bit counts. Like literally standing up, doing 10 jumping jacks, that makes a difference in your body, a big time difference. And people really get in a mindset of where exercise has to be all or nothing. Like if they're not sweating and breathing hard and just absolutely exhausted afterwards, that's not considered a workout to them. And that's not true at all, right? And, there's so many different components to fitness. You have flexibility, you have balance, you have your lymphatic system, stimulating that. You have, just literally just the act of breathing on purpose. That's to do with your fitness, like the great breathing exercises that we were brought through yesterday by the vocal coach. Those are awesome to realize, that just doing simple things like that would, that affects your fitness. So you don't have to put it in a box. Now, I'm all about being as effective and efficient as possible. So my big fitness number one tip is to strength train. Strength training is anti-aging. It helps control your hormones more than any other exercise that you can do. It also really does a lot. It's not as, once you know what you're doing when you're lifting weights, it's not as intense as cardio. You don't actually sweat nearly as much. You don't have to go shower afterwards all the time, so you can fit it in different places, right? So just even last month in my group, we did a jumpstart challenge, and it was just one exercise a day. First of all, just taking that barrier away to where you're just doing one exercise a day, and just making yourself be consistent in that regard. And it teaches you how to do that exercise. It allows you to, and you do get results. I mean, people were like, I was doing it and I was getting, sore, and being like, and it's amazing how it doesn't take as much of a commitment as you think. And especially with strength training, you're going to see all kinds of results in regards to the changes that you can see in your physical body because of it, and then also the way you feel in your hormones. So but as far as what I wanted to really talk about today is selfless fitness. Now I know we've all been talking about taking care of ourselves and understanding where we're coming from on different goals that we have. And to me, thinking about selflessness is like awesome. I hate being selfish. I hate, I don't like people that are selfish. None of us do, right? But there's such a stigma in our heads, and that is actually kind of hidden deep in there. Now, with all over the last, I could say 30 years, I've really been a fitness professional. And I've dealt with literally tens of thousands of women in regards to their stumbling blocks. They're like, how do I get motivated? What can do this? And it always comes back to this guilt. A lot of women have guilt about taking care of themselves. And I know we've touched on it in so many different ways, but fitness especially, there's, it like flies out of the window whenever, say, the summer comes and the kids are home, then you don't do your routine anymore. You forego your fitness. You go on vacation, you forego your fitness. You get out of it, and then you feel like you have to like have some momentous thing happen to where you can get back on track with your fitness, right? And I think part of that is just that stigma of guilt, that if we take our time for ourselves, that's being selfish. It's the furthest thing from the truth. Fitness is such a selfless act, because it's just like, what we all know, every time we fly, right? Put that mask on yourself first, and then you can help other people, right? And as I get older, I see this more and more, and just things that we can prevent in our deterioration of health as we grow older. Fitness is such a huge part of that. So really taking care of ourselves will prevent so much of that heartache later on that you see, with taking care of families and taking care of aging parents. And so many of my clients now like really point to that as to reasons why they're trying to get in shape. And it's very much, one of those things to where people, it doesn't even trigger in your head that you're thinking somebody's selfish because they're fitness. So for example, when you see somebody post a lot of selfies of themselves on Instagram, do you think that's selfish? Yes or no? Is it selfish to be, posting a picture of yourself after you work out just for your accountability, for your friends' accountability to see, is that selfish, or is that selfless? Is working out, caring about the way you look, is that selfish? We might not in our head think that, but do we find ourselves, talking about people or thinking about people that do have those habits? Do we think of that as selfish? And you can think about that with some other things too. Say your business. Do people consider you selfish when you work on your business? Is that you taking time away from your family to pursue your goals and your dreams, to write your book? Is that selfish? So just be aware of that in your mind and how you're talking to yourself about your fitness. It is very selfless. We don't try to have to skip brushing our teeth or taking a shower. So why would we skip taking care of ourselves? And the other thing that goes along with this is a lot of women find it that where they feel like they have to go work out at like 4:00 in the morning if they're going to get it done, because they just cannot find a way to work it into their life. Or they kind of almost are hiding it from their family. And it's very important to lead by example in your family, to let them see you work out and see you figure out ways to fit it into your life. Like kind of have it as a non-negotiable, one of those things you're going to do every day. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be strength training. I just say that that's like the holy grail as far as efficient and effective. So if you want 20 minutes, if you only have 20 minutes to do something, that's literally the most efficient and effective exercise that you can do in regards to just making impact on your body. And a lot of people, defer to cardio, hopping on the elliptical. I don't want to do that for 20 minutes. I mean, I'm not, that's no fun. It's no fun, and it's like a huge barrier to entry. And I know I'm going to be so sweaty afterwards that I have to, take a shower and take, 2 hours of my life out of just to get 20 minutes of exercise in. So, there's definitely, a mindset barriers. So figure out what that is that you like to do, that you can do, that you can fit in your life, and that you can do consistently, and then go from there. Maybe learn some new things. If you've never lifted weights before, it's very easy to do. All you need is a set of dumbbells, a ball, and a chair, and you can do everything that you need to do to get your full body in shape. So it's not like you need a full gym or anything like that. And in my books, I have the program laid out for you to get started. And I have videos on YouTube. I have a wealth of all kinds of resources. So if you ever are looking for something specific, don't hesitate to reach out. The other thing that I wanted to just touch on about hormones a little bit more is that they are often forgotten in regards to your fitness, and we already talked about that. But it's not just your sex hormones, your estrogen, progesterone, and your testosterone, of course, but it's also like your glucose. A lot of people right now are doing some weight loss programs with glucose like related injections, if we've heard of the semi-glutide type programs and stuff like that. And there's mixed reviews on that, and there's mixed thoughts. Personally, I think it's a very good thing, because so many people are insulin resistant anymore, and their glucose is not working properly. And so for us to have that technology and that ability to help people regulate that and regulate their hunger through those injections is very good for anti-aging, and very good for those people that need it. So don't ever feel like, my son had this thing where he's saying that everybody at his office all the women there are taking those injections, and that they're cheating. It's not cheating. It's actually medically very necessary for some people. And then also, don't underestimate the fact that glucose working properly in somebody's body is going to really help them be able to consistently work out, and to be able to consistently eat proper foods, and be intuitive with their eating, rather than out of control because of the improper use of glucose in your body. So the science behind it is absolutely amazing if anybody's ever looked into it. But I just wanted to encourage people to not feel like people are cheating because of that, and not feeling like you'd be cheating if you would do any of that to get things under control for yourself. Now, the other thing that I'm a big proponent of is another vitamin that is actually more like a hormone than a vitamin, and that's vitamin D. I myself have realized that my whole life I was vitamin D deficient, and I didn't really know it. And just over the last 5 or 6 years, I've really been aggressively treating it, and it's made a world of difference. And so don't neglect that. And honestly, 90% of all of the population are vitamin D deficient. So as you can tell, I'm a little tan. And that's part because at least I make myself get out in the sun almost every day, partly because of the vitamin D. And the other part of it is just I love being outside. So and it's so good for you. But vitamin D, if you don't already supplement with that, I don't care who you are, you need to do it. Really, at this point in life, with research that's out there, the way it affects all your other hormones. So you need vitamin D to build. It's a building block for so many other things in your body, not just your bones, and not just the things that you think of off the top of your head, but it's very important. So that's kind of a 30,000 foot view of what I have. I mean, like, literally, if you want any more content, I have a YouTube channel where there's all kinds of topics on there that I discuss. My current Facebook group, Team Buff Mother, is very very supportive. We're all about helping each other grow. Back in the day, I had my own private website that was called the Rally Room, and we had 10,000 members there, and all women supporting each other, blogging. It was like Facebook before Facebook. So it's kind of one of those things to where we've transitioned over to the Facebook group, and I've been up and down with doing some other career type things besides just 100% on fitness. So but the great thing is the women that have found success with the support there and the accountability, they really, really do appreciate it, and it's so heartfelt. So feel free to join that too. And we're going to do an accountability August challenge, and so it's just all about just making yourself post every day. It doesn't have to be like a workout. I'm big in posting workout proof accountability. But it doesn't have to be that. The challenge is for the month to just post at least once a day, whatever you got going on, whether you worked out or not. It's just about being accountable to a group. So it's Accountability August. It's so free. Everything I'm doing right now is for free. So, I have I really enjoyed that side of it, is just leading as a servant hearted, not trying to make it my business currently. That's taken a lot of stress off of me. And you know, it's really fun to see how in this group there's so many different types of leaders. You know, I've always said that I lead by example. It's kind of changed a little bit over the years just because I've had my own health struggles and fitness struggles. So then you can't always have a six-pack 24/7, you know, for 30 years, right? You know, there's you know, definitely a lot of pressure on fitness influencers and fitness personalities to have that perfect body. And I've learned myself that I don't need that. I don't have to have that. I can still, but you know, I always have goals. I have high goals. I'm, you know, very addicted to the beauty of beautiful bodies, and I want to have one myself. But you know, it's one of those things to where I'm okay if I'm not 100% perfect all the time. So but I mean, it's so fun to see in this group how we got leaders that lead with empathy and love and accountability, and their, you know, your passion or your vision, whatever it is. And it's really encouraging to hear how everybody's mission is just really pure and loving. And I know that that's how I built my team and my group of women. And it was never one of those things to where I was doing it out of, this is my business. I just wanted to truly help people. And if you keep that in your heart, I think that will lead to huge success. So does anybody have any questions? I got just a couple more minutes here, and anything specific that is just kind of you're curious about or anything like that.
I couldn't find your Facebook group, so
yeah,
I'd love like the link to be put in the chat.
Yeah,
so
I'll put one in there in just a moment. Yeah, it's called Team Buff Mother, and it is private. I'm all about keeping men out,
Okay.
and that's the only way you can do it. But you should be able to find it. It's Team, all capital letters, and then Buff Mother. But I will put it in there, and also put it in the Facebook group for you guys, so you can find that. But yeah, and then yeah, I'm on everything too, like Instagram and all that kind of stuff too. So feel free to follow me.
You found her on there, right, Rachel?
Yeah.
Awesome. Brooke has a question for you, Michelle.
My question is, I love this idea of working with hormones, like that just rings super true to me. But I'm wondering, like, is it still like possible to do that if you're super irregular?
Mm-hmm.
Like if there isn't really a consistent like day 25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's part of one of the foundations that I teach is learning about that yourself. And then there's also supplementation that you can implement that will truly, honestly help you get more regular. You know, one of those big components is vitamin D, but the other one is actually B6. That nutrient is a building block for all your hormones, and so it is weird because the RDA on B6 is very low, and there's no reasoning why it should be. So people don't normally get as much B6 as they need, and so that's when I had my own customized hormonal timing supplements, and they really, that was one of the big components in those that everyone found such success with. So, but yeah, so to finish answering your question, the really charting you every day, charting what you're feeling like will help you even identify when those irregular cycles are going to happen. So if you know, there's certain symptoms that you can track, and then if you do that for a couple months, you know, and honestly, when you're irregular, it's even more important for you to do that. It would just take, you know, just a minute every day to just kind of write, you know, chart. And there's a chart in my book that will help you identify where you're at, and then you could probably actually kind of see when it's coming, you know, before it does, so you have an idea, you know, if you're very irregular. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and then I raised my hand because I have
Yeah.
a quick question. So I'm gonna go like devour your books. I'm really excited to read them and start learning. My question is, in like the 1 or 2 minute version, what could I immediately start applying as far as just that hormonal awareness? Like, because, the consistency matters. So it's this like tension between consistency and then that ebb and flow of like the way that, so is it like gentler things on those days, or just like how
Right. Well, so first of all, just knowing your hormones and kind of, knowing your enemy is what I call it, basically. So doing that charting so you can understand what's going on. And then in my book there's 10 success tools, and one of them is like called 5-minute mojo. It's just like a list of things that you can do, like go for a walk, go for a 5-minute walk, or go drink a glass of water, like little things like that you can start implementing into your life. And it just like that little trigger of like, hey, I need to do something. And I have a success journal page that has like all the 10 success tools on it. And honestly, if you just keep that by your desk and like look at it like every couple hours, you'd be like, oh, okay, I gotta remember to do this, so little triggers that help you, and if I had an app, it would be really cool to just like, give you an alarm to remember to, go stand up and walk around for a little bit, or do a little stretch or whatever, there's all kinds of things. And then another really cool success tool that I have in there is to focus on the solutions. So like say if you have a problem in anything, in fitness or whatever, but say you have a problem in regards to anything, you can just write down all the solutions and then just really focus on that, and like literally throw away the problem. You take the problem, write down the problem, and then you write all the solutions to it, and then you throw it away. And you can do that with your fitness too, so there's like a plethora of information in beyond just the hormone side, but all of it does wrap around the hormones, just understanding that and helping your mental side, because so much of the way your hormones affect you is in your brain. And like, I want to choose to be happy today, but I'm not, and why, I'm not happy because these hormones are just dragging me down. And then if you're aware of that on that day, that's kind of the mentality, that's where you're at, you can work around it. Yeah.
Honor it, right? Again, honor yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel has a question, and then Mel had a question in the chat, and then we'll jump to the next.
I wanted to point out the question that I saw in the chat, because it pertains to me too, but does charting, I don't know if it was Mel who said it, but does charting with hormones work for postmenopausal women over 55? And I'm going to add to that, I'm going to be 40 in a few months, but I went into really early menopause about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So for me, like, hormones is an issue because of menopause, but I don't have like a cycle to track, so I don't know how to pay attention to like the cycle of my hormones, since I don't have an actual cycle anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is you do. You still cycle. So that's the fallacy. Women still cycle. We still cycle even if we don't have any showing symptom. Like physical cycling, but so yes, it's even like I tell people it's almost more important to do it when you are in that situation. And the key things that I tell people. So there's in the book there's like probably 8 or 9 different items that I highlight in regards to symptoms of hormones. But like number one, just while you're getting to know it, definitely weigh every day, because your weight, it does, that's a high indicator of where you're at in your cycle. So the first couple of weeks of the month, no matter what, your weight's going to be lower than the second half. So say for instance you go to the doctor every month or whatever and weigh in, and you're weighing in, say, like, different times of your cycle, you're not really going to get an accurate account of what's going on with your weight, because I shift 6 pounds, throughout the month, just because of my hormones. So, and as we get older, I have noticed that as I've gotten older, it's not as big of a shift, but still, that's huge. And then sleep is like a gigantic indicator that you have a lot more hormones in your system, and that you're, more in that, what I call the boosting phase. And it is, less, not as good as sleep, you know, you're not able to stay asleep, you're not able to fall asleep, you know, those type of things. And that does, you know, go up and down throughout the month. And so as you're aware of that, you know, you like during boosting, it's the time of the month to be a little nicer to yourself, you know, allow you to eat more, because you do burn more calories at that time of the month too. So you know, people are hungrier because they're hungrier for a reason. You know, it's not because you're, you know, so it's not always the best time to be like, hey, I'm going to buckle down on my diet when I'm absolutely starving to death this time of the month, right? It's easier to buckle down on your diet during buffing, which is the first couple of weeks of the month or of the cycle. You know, I want to say, you know, like, so you still go through that, even postmenopausal. You know, every woman does, and especially and then I tell women too that if you have teenage daughters or other women that you're around regularly that do get their cycle, pay attention to that, because you are going to sync. You're still syncing your hormones together, and you're going to go up and down. That's why when my daughters, I have 3 daughters, and when they were even like 3 years old, we would all be basket cases like during cycle days 25 through 28. I'm like, the whole house would just be like chaotic, and everybody would be screaming and crying, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know. And then I realized that they were cycling with me even when they were like 3 years old. And so, and my husband and my son too, that my husband gets a man cycle, like with his hormones. He follows right along with me. So it's very amazing once you really start doing. And I mean, I could go on and on about all the things, you know, like I stink more different times of the month, you know, I sweat more, you know, it's just endless, and all the things that are associated with it. And you know, definitely I would encourage everybody to just, you know, it's not like a lifetime thing. I don't still chart my cycle anymore, because I did for years, and I know, you know, I know it. I know what I'm dealing with. But it's a great experience to actually, you know, hook that in, and then you find out. Like I told Ari when I was trying to decide on if I was going to join her company or not, I'm like, hormonally, I can't make any decisions this week. I'm like, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to. Like, I don't let myself on these.
I have a rule with myself where I'm at in my cycle. I can't make.
Yeah, and that's a great rule. You know, don't make any certain life decisions on certain days of the month, because you know, and I always know I'm going to get my period if I start cleaning the house all day long. That's the next day I'll get my period. That's for sure. So
amazing. Okay, so you guys can tell Michelle has a ton of experience and knowledge around this. So I'm so glad that you're finding her group. If it's an easy type of link for those downloads, Michelle, you can stick it in here in the chat. People are asking for it for the books, but I'm also going to have all of that in that email too. That's going to go out with everyone's handouts and giveaways and all the things. So, so you'll be getting it there too. But yeah, follow Michelle, join her groups, be in her knowledge and her energy, and yeah, she definitely helps us to really find that harmony between that self-compassion and awareness and honoring of ourselves, and the go after it too. Go take action and do the things, but do it in a way that honors yourself. Like don't do it in this way that's punishing and fighting against the reality of like the ebb and flow and the things going on in your body. So yeah, Brooke, so we have replay links in the Facebook group, and I'm gonna send out today all the replay links in an email. So if you're not in Facebook, you can still see those. I'm going to leave those live until the end of Friday. I want you guys to have plenty of time. And then I'm going to have all the links for everyone's giveaways and all of it. So yeah. So watch your inbox for all of that to come in.